At the Potokesk Brewery, the boss announces that on Christmas Day, all employees must participate in the White Elephant Gift Exchange, and there's no arguing about it, and turns on the TV with their favorite actor. Peter objects, saying that one of his co-workers was given a guitar, which he now never part with. This really enrages everyone. At home, Peter is watching TV with his kids when Lois comes over and asks him to help decorate the Christmas tree. Peter is getting annoyed. He thinks about the gift for tomorrow. In his wardrobe, he finds various items, but none of them satisfy him. Then he spots a box which catches his eye. Inside, it is a brightly colored brooch. Peter decides to take that as his gift for the next day. During the lunch break, the boss and colleagues begin their gift exchange. A female coworker ends up with a book. The boss receives Peter's brooch. Peter then receives a text message from Lois asking him to find her brooch. He snatches a tablet featuring his favorite actor from a co-worker and starts watching a talk show. At dinner, Lois tells Peter how dear that brooch is to her, and Peter realizes that he has made a mistake. Later at the corporate event, the boss greets Peter and Lois and urges them to have fun. Lois asks Peter to talk with the co-workers, but he doesn't want to, and at that moment he notices a brooch on the boss's mother. Peter quickly fabricates a story to distract his spouse and then decisively runs over to Mrs. Lloyd. He showers her with compliments and points at the brooch, remarking that it's very beautiful. The boss then approaches and announces that it's time for them to go. Peter never manages to retrieve the brooch as the boss puts his mother in his car and drives away. Determined, Peter begins to follow them. The boss has taken his mother to a nursing home, but Peter can't get in there. Until later at a bar, Peter, Joe Cleveland, and Glenn discuss their Christmas plans. Peter confesses that he needs help, and together they devise a plan to break into the nursing home. That night, they sneak onto the premises of the nursing home and hide in some bushes. Peter comes up with a plan to infiltrate the building itself. Disguised as janitorial staff, he and his team gain access at the reception, where they are granted permission to clean the facilities. They then move into a block and locate Mrs. Lloyd's room. Without a moment's hesitation, Peter grabs the brooch and also helps himself to a pair of safety goggles while his friends make a quick getaway after the operation. In the morning, Peter opens the gift from Brian. Soon after, he confesses to Lois that he took the brooch and secretly gave it to the boss's mother, only to retrieve it later. Lois forgives him, and the family gathers together to celebrate Christmas. Later, Lois decides to return the brooch to Mrs. Lloyd. However, she attaches it incorrectly, and Mrs. Lloyd begins to bleed. As medical personnel rush to assist the old lady, Lois and Peter fervently debate their actions, completely oblivious to the aid being rendered. Stewie is writing a letter to Santa. In it, he lists all his best qualities and asks for his desired gift. Brian walks up to Stewie. Stewie is displeased that Brian entered without knocking. The dog tells Stewie that he hasn't behaved entirely well and lists all the bad things Stewie has done over the year. Stewie starts to challenge Brian's claims, but deep down he realizes that Brian is indeed right. Stewie takes out all his weapons from the arsenal and tells Brian that he doesn't need them because he wants to become better. They throw all the weapons into a container and discover Peter's diapers. Peter is not pleased that his secret has been discovered. In the kitchen, Stewie tells Brian that he can get off the naughty list. Earlier in the day, he donated $1,000 in tips to a Starbucks coffee shop, but Brian insists that Stewie won't succeed no matter how hard he tries. Later, Brian enters Stewie's room. Stewie is sitting at the table with Rupert, listening to the dog's philosophical ramblings. Brian suddenly jumps up and runs downstairs to the courier. In the morning, Stewie is in the kitchen writing an email to Santa to get himself added to the good list. Meg finds a sizzling weapon. Stewie sees this and jumps up. He wants to take the weapon back, but Meg resists. In the end, she accidentally pulls the trigger and turns into ash. Brian walks in and sees the pile of ash. He immediately senses that it's all that's left of Meg. Stewie tries to figure out a solution, realizing he's in big trouble. Brian goes to Meg's room and sees her silhouette, but it turns out to be Stewie. He's desperately trying to fix everything and has organized a casting call for people to play the role of Meg. At night, Stewie sits by the fireplace writing a letter to Santa. Seeing Meg's stocking, his heart aches with sorrow over her absence. In the letter, he earnestly asks Santa to bring Meg back home safe and sound, saying that's all he wishes for and needs nothing else. In the morning, Stewie wakes up and goes downstairs to the Christmas tree. He sees Meg lying under the tree, tied with a ribbon. He runs over and wakes her up. Meg says she had a strange dream and realizes she should probably ease up on the drinking. Brian sees all this and is shocked, to which Stewie responds that it's a Christmas miracle.